And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate you listening and spending time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to serve as your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions, helping you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community, you know, online or offline. You're seeing commission-based advice. You're hearing it, people you talk to. So we want to be different. We want to provide you a helicopter view of the market and things happening not only here in Tampa Bay, but the Gulf Coast region of Florida and across this great nation. So we want you to engage with us. One of the ways that you can engage is with our off-air hotline, 813-670-7372. Had an uptick in calls lately. Lots of folks reaching out, wanting to know more about their mortgage, their finances, their credit improvement, real estate. Had some folks calling in, wanting to list their properties and have them featured on the show. So we appreciate everybody that's reaching out to our hotline, and also the website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. And let's make our introductions here. We got Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, Brandon, good to be back. Today I'm gonna kind of bring us back to some of the loans that people have been calling about this week, a lot of VA veterans. So I want to talk about VA loans and some of the facts around VA instead of some of the misnomers out there.
Yeah, our government does some things right, some things wrong, and some people argue many things wrong. But the VA program is one of the things that we have done right as a country, taking care of our veterans, 100% financing, and then we also offer discounts in terms of the real estate side. We're going to give a quarter to half a point back to any veteran, first responder that does a deal with us. Medical now, we're extending that to nurses and teachers as well with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. And I know you guys are very friendly over at Fairway with your veterans as well.
Yep, we love the veterans, and we are in the top. I don't remember what number, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to say we were number one just about 2 months ago. So just depends on the month, I think. But we do a ton of VA loans. We actually have American Warrior Initiative. It's a nonprofit group. And if there's a need out there if they call into the show, and if there's a need out there, we can certainly send it through. Even though we're not doing that, because social distancing, I was going to do a seminar and bring realtors in, and typically we do a big kind of show, and we're not doing that because of social distancing. But we still are offering, if there is a need. We've done, service dogs. We've done things for veterans that have a need. So if there's a need out there, I'll certainly send it in. We'll vet it through, and we'll see if we can't get it done for any veteran out there that may be a wounded veteran that may need some help.
Excellent. All right. More from Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Support your local economy, a local lender here based right here in Tampa Bay. And also wealth strategist Anthony Ornella, JarredBunch Consulting. Welcome back to the show, sir.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Brandon. I appreciate you having me on again. And again, to all those consumers that are tuning in to listening, thank you for sharing the most valuable resource you have in your time. And for that time, I know that this show is going to bring a whole bunch of value to your life. So I'm excited to be here.
That's right. That's our goal. Is we want to be different from some of the other shows you hear and you might think about is it's a lot of commentary. We want to make it a two-way conversation with you reaching out and engaging with us, and we want to have action items. We want to have a QAA formula. You're going to have questions. We're going to provide answers, but we want to take it a step further than that and provide action items on ways that you can live a better life and improve your quality of life, and maybe for yourself or loved ones. And it's a consumer advocate approach right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Want to give a shout out to Golf Cart Depot. Say hello to our friends over at the Golf Cart Depot. They've got a sale going on right now. It's a special that they have. They will also mobile repair or deliver a golf cart directly to your home or office. And we're talking about the highest quality. You got Easy Goes, Star EV, Icon electric vehicles, Cushman available as well, refurbished, new or pre-owned. And there are 2 locations here, Clearwater and Lando Lakes locations, and they will bring the golf cart to you. Say hello to our friends at Golf Cart Depot. Marty and his team do a great job, and they hooked us up. If you're watching our TV show version, just check out this Keller Williams red, beautiful Easy Go cart that they hooked us up with. Beautiful. We enjoy getting out there and having some fun, both personal use and also commercial use when the coronavirus before the coronavirus, we were out door knocking and meeting a lot of our neighbors with our Easy Go cart right here in Tampa Bay. Say hello to our friends at Marty at Golf Cart Depot. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And let's jump right into it. So I want to go back to Diane. A lot of uncertainty right now. These are trying times. These are uncertain times. What advice are you giving to your folks that you're talking with and consulting with on the mortgage side?
Well, what I'm trying to do is see what their goals are, what's their time frame, what are they trying to accomplish, and if we have to work on credit, that's one thing we end up doing, and we do, we either send it to William or we'll do what is called a simulator if it's not difficult and it's easy for us to figure out as far as how can they improve credit. So what's happened is some of the guidelines have tightened up a little bit, and they'll loosen up again. It's all temporary just because of COVID-19, because whenever there's, it's supply and demand. But right now I'm having the biggest month in May. I think I was talking to Aaron, one of your agents, and I'm having one of the biggest months I've ever had, and it's all purchase volume. And so there are people out there looking. If they're employed, now if they're furloughed, we'll have to wait till they get back to work. But those people are even calling. So I'm trying to give them advice about, okay, if you are furloughed, you cannot buy right now. But once you go back to work, you will be able to buy. So when you're furloughed, that typically means that you will get called back. So we've had a lot of those types of calls. We're actually trying to keep in contact with people but we've had it's funny, we've had a lot of, like I said, veterans calling recently, and with VA loans, it's 0 down payment. The VA loan is no different than the conventional and government. It's a government loan, no different than FHA and conventional. People get kind of nervous. Sellers do not have to pay additional fees. If all of the loans for appraisals, everybody gets nervous about the appraisal. VA does hire the appraisers, and they are VA certified, but they have a lot of good things in place for that system. So if there is something that is, if a value's not coming in, then what they'll do is they'll give the realtor time to actually get additional comps or something like that. But there is no additional, as far as it's safety and health issues on all loans, whether it's VA, conventional, or FHA. So if it's a safety issue, it's, I hear people say, "Oh, I won't sell my house VA because I heard the appraisals more difficult," or something like that. That's not really. The facts is that if it's a safety issue and a health issue, it's probably going to come up on one of the other appraisals. For instance, if there's wood rot, or if there's bars on the windows or something like that, they're going to require that those things be removed, but it's going to be the same across the board. But so what we're trying to do is just advise people for future, and just, it's funny because it seems like we've really gotten an uptick in calls on a lot of police officers, a lot of nurses, a lot of prior veterans, or a lot of veterans. If they have any disability on a VA loan, they don't have what is called a funding fee. A funding fee is something that is put aside for every VA loan. That's how you can put 0 down. It's kind of like mortgage insurance, but it's not called mortgage insurance, but it's the same concept. It just helps fund the VA loans. But if somebody is 100% disabled, then they would not, of course, have any down payment, and they would not have a funding fee. And also, you can buy up to $1.5 million with a VA loan. And so it's a great program. It's a if you've used it before, it's a little more expensive than the first time you use it. But if you put 5% down, it's less expensive. So there's a lot of different programs. A lot of people aren't real familiar with VA, but sellers out there should not be concerned about a VA selling, a veteran buying the house, because it's probably the easiest program you have out there as far as trying to get their veteran into a home. And that's the goal. There's some exceptions. I just did, somebody was disabled, and he also not only doesn't have to have a down payment, but he has zero property taxes, because Pinellas County allows, if you're 100% disabled, you can have no taxes, so no property taxes. So it's a win-win situation. So we're getting a lot of those calls.
Yeah, it really is. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, top 5 lender in the country, in the United States here. And I forgot the exact number, but I think it was close to $20 billion funded already this year. And Diane, you mentioned some of the misconceptions you have, and people say, well, I don't want to sell to a veteran because I heard the VA loans are harder to get and they're more stringent on the appraisal. What a wrong mindset to have as Americans, discriminating against a group that's potentially gone overseas, fought for our freedom, got injured, lost a limb, lost friends, and then we sit here and say, no, we're not going to do that loan because it's a little bit more difficult for us to sell our home.
Yeah, it's really very sad. And as you see, every Friday is our Red Friday for Fairway. We actually honor veterans every Friday. So everybody wears red because we believe in our veterans. I mean, that's why we have our freedom, right? That's why we don't have people on our shores. My son-in-law is in the military. He's in Germany right now, and he's a lifetime. So yeah, my whole family was in the military. My brothers, I had 4 brothers, they're all in the military. So my father, everybody was in the military. So I'm a big believer in, thanking them for their service.
Absolutely. And we offer discounts to them. So anybody wants to reach out, we'd love to talk to you. More from Diane coming up, as well as Anthony Ornella, and our feel-good story of the day. Anonymous donor gifts $1 million to hospitals, insist money goes to all staff, including cleaners. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards from Tampa.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And I want to give a shout out to Replenish IV Solutions. Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, longtime friends of the program now, over 2 or 3 years now. And Replenish IV Solutions, what a timely opportunity if you're looking to boost your immunity like most Americans are. Replenish IV Solutions, what we're talking about here are vitamin infusion drips. They're going to come out. They will make house calls. They will send a qualified nurse following all the CDC guidelines to your home or office, and they'll hook you up with a Myers cocktail or some other form of IV solution that they offer, these vitamin IV drips. And I love it. At least once a month, I'm going over and visiting them, and I'm getting mine, and I just feel refreshed. Mentally, physically, I feel great. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan and let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Featured in May issue of Florida Realtor Magazine. Again, it was probably the 7th time or so that we've been featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, and it was about marketing and branding and exposure that we get for our sellers on our unique radio and TV show model. So real excited to be, it's nice to have the accolades and people reaching out, but it's more of a team approach. We've got so many people involved with our team, buyer agents, selling agents, transaction coordinators, awesome mortgage team that we work with, our executive show producer, so many people that go into helping us be successful. So we want to make sure we're grateful and mentioning that as well out there. So we've got a great team here at Keller Williams Realty, the Platinum MVP team. I want to let you know about a couple of hot property listings. This one's 520 George Street South. It's right on Lake Tarpon. So if you ever wanted to have that Florida dream lifestyle living on waterfront, and I tell you, living on Lake Tarpon myself, 2,500 acre lake. It's a huge lake, fishing, boating, jet skis, paddle boards, all kinds of great stuff. Just watching the birds and the eagles and the osprey. It's just an awesome time to live on the lake. Check out 520 George Street South, Tarpon Springs. Beautiful property listed at $499,000. Owners are motivated, so they are looking for offers. You got your own boat dock right on the lake. Check out 520 George Street South, Tarpon Springs. Also, Ketch Court, Tarpon Springs as well, another vacant lot. So if you want to build, I've got lots available from $39,000 in a waterfront community with water views at Ketch Court in Tarpon Springs. Beautiful properties. I've got 4 lots available in there. Actually 3 now. One of them sold yesterday. So check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got Diane Vance on the show today as well, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Now we're going to talk with Anthony Ornella. He's a wealth advisor, wealth strategist here, back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're following up on a series of wealth finale on the wealth series that you've had going, Anthony.
Yeah, I love this topic probably the most out of anything, and I've been waiting to get to it because it's certainly one of the most impactful. And it's, we'll bring it home. Jim Rohn, the late great Jim Rohn, has a great quote: "Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time." And, one of the ways I find that you get more time and you spend your time more wisely, and Brandon, you said this earlier, is to have a team around you. It doesn't matter if that's professional or personal. To have your team around you saves you so much time, and it is so much more valuable to do this life together with teams. So again, congrats on I saw that article in the Realty magazine. That's really great, man. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
But let's jump in. The 4th challenge of wealth building. Right? This is it. Yeah, you have to conquer 4, and this is the number 4. It's the lack of financial organization and I always emphasize the ampersand, and coordination. So the lack of financial organization and coordination. It's almost a staple in American society. In every home in America, you will find a junk drawer.
Yeah.
Who's got a junk drawer, right? I do. Most everybody does. You kind of know what's in there. For the most part, there's no organization to it. That's why it's a junk drawer. You think you need stuff that's in there. And if you did take the time to organize it, chances are you'd be throwing out the old batteries and taking a look at the lighter that doesn't have any fluid in it anymore and throwing out old pens and all that stuff. But most people don't spend the time to take a look at there. And what I have found through experience, and many Americans have a financial junk drawer as well. They treat the world of their finance very similar to they do in their junk drawer. Well, I've got this stuff. Let me put it in this drawer and I'll look at it maybe when I need it later.
Right.
The average American runs into or actively has about 13 financial professionals or institutions involved with their life, oftentimes all at one time. And if you think about that, when's the last time all of those people have been together in the same room?
Right.
Your realtor, your mortgage lender, your banker, your credit card company, your credit repair person, your investment advisor, your health benefits person, your 401k advisor. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Your CPA, your accountant. When have they all been in the same room together? And I'm going to make a guess here and say probably never.
Right. Right.
And now what that leads to is each one of those people making a decision or a value add or a value proposition of a product or a service in a vacuum. And it's not of a bad thing because they are bringing value to the table. However, it's through the lens of their profession. And again, not to pick on the realty team and the mortgage lender, but that's who's on the show with me here. Yeah. When someone offers, hey, it's a great time to buy a house. Well, from a realtor, from a real estate agent standpoint, you want to sell the house when the market value is high, and you want to buy the house when the market value is low. From the mortgage lender, you want to refi when interest rates are low, and maybe hold tight when they're not so favorable. Maybe there's some opportunities there as well. But what that doesn't do for the client or the family or the person is it doesn't take into account all the rest of their financial life, their financial picture. How does that, when's a good time to buy a house? I don't know until you're organized. How can you make that decision until you get everything in the box it needs to be in? The simple answer is you cannot make the most efficient financial decision until you are organized. Doesn't matter market value, doesn't matter how the stock market's doing, doesn't matter interest rates, until you get yourself organized and you have all of your board of directors, all those financial professionals in line with your family's agenda. Making those decisions can be very stressful. When you pull out the junk drawer and you see that mess, when you pull out those finances and you see that mess, well, how much does this house cost? Can I really afford that? How many times have you heard that? Can I afford this house?
Right.
Well, if you're organized, you know. And so again, going into the second segment, we'll talk about the coordination aspect of that, and I love the metaphor of, if you had your landscaper show up to the house and he didn't bring his lawnmower, didn't bring his weed whacker or his edger, or if you had your handyman show up or your plumber show up without the wrench and the piping that he was going to fix, he's not bringing tools to the table for you, right? The same thing in the world of finance. You got to have the tools in place to have success. And JarredBunch, we use JarredBunch Wealth Builder, or JB Wealth Builder. It's a private client platform online that aggregates your financial life into one easy statement. So you can see all your assets, you can see all your liabilities, you see your net worth, you see all of your expenses, you see your budget all in real time.
Right.
Talk about a value add of bringing organization into one spot so you can see in real time what's going on. And so when it comes to making that decision and getting the refi or getting that new house or buying that car or sending your baby to college, whatever it may be, you know exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it.
Yeah, Anthony, that's important. We're talking with Anthony Ornella, wealth advisor, JarredBunch Consulting, LLC, JarredBunch.com. You can find him online, of course, on LinkedIn as well. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that people do have when they look at buying a new home, moving up moving closer to work, maybe even some different scenarios where they might want to buy an investment property. They don't really know their budget numbers, so then that makes them more scared or more hesitant to go into that new purchase.
100%. And it doesn't matter if you're buying that bigger house because you had another child and you want them to have their own room, or you want to be closer to work. Who doesn't want to be closer to work? Or an investment property to maybe create some passive income for you on the side. When you are more nervous, that leads to more stress. More stress reduces the time you have on this planet, and the time is not a renewable resource. And so if you can be organized and you can be less stressed, you can make those decisions efficient. Talk about making your service providers laugh. They're going to want to do business with you even more because you are an efficient machine with your finances. So I can't stress. I mean, again, when we talk about the 4 challenges, just hammering that organization I don't care where you are in the spectrum, CEO, Jeff Bezos, or I just graduated college and I'm buried in student loan debt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are in life, getting yourself organized allows you to attack that debt more efficiently, allows you to expand your business, allows you to make those good, impactful decisions when you do have a great market value on those homes out there to buy. When your interest rates are favorable, boom, you can capitalize on it immediately. What happens if you lose your job? Or is your money working so hard for you that you can float and you can survive and you can live still until you get back up on your feet past this whole crisis mess?
Right. Yeah. You think about it from a perspective of, I like to go back to the football analogies, sometimes the metaphors of, Tom Brady being the GOAT of all times, and in a lot of people's mind, right? The quarterback, but he has the coach, potentially one of the GOATs of all time as a coach. And then you had, and by the way, shout out to Don Shula, one of the greatest of all time, just passed away recently. Miami Dolphins, only team with a undefeated season. But it's a multi-pronged approach, and it's a comprehensive approach that Anthony's talking about here. You got to have a great special teams unit. You got to have a great offense, defense, and have all of those pieces working together, playing well together, communicating, and having that communication, that organization, that plan. And then you can call the audible if you have to and make changes when you have a coronavirus or a pandemic come up. So stay with us right here on the show. When we come back, I'm going to talk with Diane Vance. I want to ask her more about some of the investor side, what she's seeing going on, because where there's difficulty, there's opportunity as well in the markets. So stay with us. We're going to talk with Diane Vance, more from Anthony Ornella, as well as our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this donor that gives $1 million to hospitals, but insists the money goes to all staff, including the cleaners. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Ask me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Backles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said non-violent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back. I've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and want to remind you that we are buying properties cash. We will pay cash. We have a program through Keller Mortgage, or Keller Offers rather, that will allow you to sell quickly. So if you have a quick close, you have a situation, death, divorce, bankruptcy, whatever type of situations come up, coronavirus negatively impacted you, you have an opportunity to sell quickly with Keller. We have an offer program that will close quickly, and we're talking about within a week or so, you're able to close on that property. So we would love to talk to you about that. Of course, buying, selling, or investing, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal. And we want to give a shout out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. Reach out to the owner directly. Call and ask for Gary Thacker and tell him that Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback, sent you, and take him up on the special offers and incentives that he's offered for our radio and TV show family here. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Catch Court here in Tarpon Springs. Beautiful property, great opportunity to build on your own vacant lot on Catch. Check out the beautiful photography, compliments of Fairway frameworks. But you got open lots available. There's 4 lots available. 1 just sold, so now we've got 3 lots left, and they are all in a gorgeous community, waterfront community with gated that has tennis courts, pool, clubhouse right here in Tarpon Springs. Beautiful opportunities. Vacant land available to build your dream home right here in Tampa Bay. Some of the historically low mortgage rates available as well. You can build properties right now. A lot of the contractors are slower, so it's an opportunistic time to strike while the iron is hot. 422 Wildwood Way in BELLEAIR. We just did a reduction on this property, price reduction at 422 Wildwood Way in BELLEAIR. This is a gorgeous 2-story home in a one of the best areas in Tampa Bay, BELLEAIR. You're surrounded by top-notch golf, country clubs, beaches, intercoastal waterways, and the owner put $130,000 recently into this home, updating the inside, renovating the master bathroom, renovating the kitchen, and it's a great opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we're going back to Diane Vance now. Fairway Independent Mortgage. Support your local economy. Support your local lender here. Stay away from the big banks. That's one of the things we say before, too, as well on this show. We just saw Wells Fargo, for example. They're under investigation yet again. A lot of these big banks, they're not on your side. They're not on your side like the local lenders are right here in Tampa Bay. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. What about on the investor side? What are you seeing out there as far as, people maybe saying, hey, it's a great opportunistic time here to maybe invest in a duplex, triplex, quad, something along those lines?
Yeah, we're seeing people that want to, because you can actually buy a duplex or a triplex or a quad, and if you move into it, then you can rent. We're seeing where that takes care of your payment, so it's a great time. A lot of people, again, it's supply and demand. When you actually want to, when it's not so favorable for some people, maybe they were using it as an Airbnb and now they maybe don't want to do long-term leases. I'm seeing more people that are interested in long-term investments. So they actually want to have investment properties. We're seeing a lot of people that will buy properties and they plan on keeping it. They'll improve them, and then they're planning on keeping them for 5 to 7 years, and they're going to go ahead and sell those. Tampa Bay is a very appreciative market. It's still appreciating, And so they can see what's going on in the future. They've seen what's happened in the past with our rapid appreciation, and people want to move to Florida. So they know that it's going to build wealth for them in the real estate side of the business. So we are actually having a lot of people. You can still purchase investment properties with 15% down. And if you're it's a primary residence, it's 15% down on a conventional loan under FHA. NVA, you also can purchase those if you're primary residence. So with FHA, you can get into a property with 3.5% down. So it's still a very, I'm closing, matter of fact, although the tenant has a month-to-month lease. So they're trying to get those folks so they can actually move in and renovate the property because they're planning on moving in. And so they're actually they're getting closed, and they're going to pay them some money to actually, because they don't have a lease. So they're on a month-to-month situation. And during the COVID CARES Act, you have to let people stay in the property. So, but they are buying. I've had a lot of interest in duplexes, triplexes, people up north wanting to buy investment properties in Florida, whether it's for themselves in the future or now just to keep it rented while prices on houses are very, they're good, and they're not depreciating, they're actually appreciating. So they can see how much it has appreciated in the last 10 years or so. So it's a good time to still look at that. We've had several investors that's all they do is investment properties. So we have a lot of those folks. You can buy, your husband can buy 10, the wife can buy 10. So you can get up to 20 investment properties right now. Right now, but it could be a total. So, again, it's about having one thing I do, Anthony, is I always do. I ask about, my buyers. I go through I'm not a financial advisor, but I do go through, do you have a financial advisor? Do you have an insurance agent? Do you have a realtor? You need all these experts because, we kind of go through, what's your goal? What's your children's age? Are you planning on having children? Do you plan on a college? What type of thing? Or is it a move up, move down? Where are you at? Are you saving? Because it's not just about the mortgage. It has to be a piece of that. Along with the, you just can't have one or the other. You have to have a full array of, if you have real estate, you're going to have some wealth, but you need to have wealth in savings and Brandon, earlier you talked about, having some savings, or maybe it was Anthony, and you do need about 6 months of savings in there to cover your expenses. So have it somewhere, because you never know when there's something may happen, like just what has happened to everybody just recently, and it's not their fault. So, you don't plan on these things, it just happens. So, but real estate is a portion of.
Yeah, we got a little technical issues there with Diane's, but she's talking about real estate being part of your portfolio. It's an over-encompassing thing. When you have investments, you have different types of. Some people are buying gold, some people are putting some money into silver. There's a lot of different things. But having real estate as part of your portfolio, I think, is the point that she was making. And if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We've got Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, also Anthony Ornella here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to go back to Anthony now, wealth advisor here on the show. And any follow-up to what Diane was just mentioning there, Anthony?
Yeah, I tons of good points that she brought up. I think one of the biggest ones is when you are working with any kind of professional in any field, when they're going to take the time to ask you those kinds of questions, it means that there's a deeper level of caring.
Right.
I take a vast majority of the time with people and discover their investor DNA, what makes them tick. Because I'm not going to push them towards real estate to build wealth if they don't like real estate at all, or the vice versa. If they don't like the markets at all and they want all real estate to build their family's legacy.
Right.
Well, that's the avenue we're going to take. And I think Diane was great in saying, let's take a look at the whole picture before we just slap a mortgage on you and send you out the door.
Right.
On top of that, real estate is an asset that has been around for many, 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 many years. It has obviously rose to popularity, really strong popularity after the mortgage meltdown. But that being said, you don't have to be actively involved to create some form of wealth from real estate. There's lots of opportunities out there, and there's lots of people out there. And so I am on board with you, Brandon, in saying that having that as a component of your overall wealth strategy or your wealth model, well, it could be very advantageous, especially if you're out there killing it and suffering from a big tax bill as well. So
yeah,
there's lots of opportunities. I love to show people how to get their dollar doing more than one thing, and having it in real estate gives you more options than just, hey, it's invested.
Right.
There's more uses to it,
Let me ask you this, Anthony. So Anthony Ornella here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's our wealth strategist on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And some of my sellers have been saying, yeah, let's reduce the price a little bit. Let's go ahead and move this property because I want to take that money and put it in the market. Now, has that window passed as far as being able to get a great deal on something? Or is it there's so many different complications to that question, right?
Oh, absolutely. So when you sell off your property, you're going to do a huge lump sum buy-in for stocks prices right now.
Right.
It goes back to getting in touch with your investor DNA. Should you be taking that risk? Because right now it's up and down. Volatility is going to just wreck people's portfolios if they're not using some form of evidence-based or non-human emotion-driven decision. And unfortunately, that is kind of what I'm going to sell my investment properties and buy a bunch of stocks.
Right.
It kind of drives people to that's that almost greedy feeling, that opportunistic hype and that energy. That's not a clear-minded, efficient, mindset. Has that opportunity passed? I would still say right now, given this specific strategies, it's a good time to get involved with the market. But cycles come and go, and as long as you are investing according to your purpose and your reason why you're doing what you're doing, if you're just out to make a quick buck or make a bunch of money, you're usually going to fall flat on your face. You got to be strategic. You have to ride your bike nice and easy up the hill and let it glide down the hill. So.
Yeah, it's much more difficult than people think to pick stocks. We were talking earlier about, Ray Dalio saying, it's like the average person trying to compete in the Olympics. You can't go win and compete in the Olympics as similar. You can't just on your own in most cases. There are some unicorns out there, but you can't just pick stocks and win and do that, because it's very similar to trying to place a gold medal in the Olympics. So stay with us when we come back. More from Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Anthony Ornella as well, JarredBunch Consulting, and our feel-good story of the day about this anonymous donor donating $1 million to hospitals. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Former USF football player, played on the inaugural football team at the University of South Florida, and we're playing quarterback on a different level here. Now we're quarterbacking our transactions for our buyers, sellers, and investors here with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Quarterbacking introductions to 80-plus show categories, 50-plus show partners here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So no matter what type of an introduction you need, we would love to be that connector for you, that super connector. We can plug you into our pipeline of excellent attorneys, CPA, financial advice, health. We get into health and nutrition, lots of ways that we can help you here. Solar companies, lots of home services as well. And of course, we've got two of our best contributors on the show today, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Anthony Ornella, as well, wealth advisor, JarredBunch Consulting. Every day, what we do with our show as well, we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. And today is a good one. So an anonymous donor donated $1 million to Dignity Health Dominican Hospital in Santa Cruz, California. The donor requested that the funds go entirely to the staff, from floor cleaners to nurses. And thank you for standing up and staying up to care for the community, the note said. This human kindness is what makes you heroic. The hospital is using the donation to give bonus checks to nurses, cleaning staff, lab techs, medical staff, and post-room workers, security guards, and full-time staff will receive $800. Part-timers will receive $600. And, quote, there are so many people who keep the hospital running. Nurses and doctors are getting the praise, but we couldn't do it without the staff who clean the floors, deliver supplies, fix machines, everything. Dignity Health Hospital President Dr. Nanette said it's a team, and we're glad the whole team is getting a thank you. So there's our feel-good story of the day. And speaking of cleaning, we want to give a shout out to Two Maids and a Mop, our local cleaning company here in Tampa Bay. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they do a great job cleaning. They're very courteous, friendly. Two Maids and a Mop. So they come in, they are tag team in the house, they're in and out. So they're not in there all day if you have just one person cleaning. It's in and out, quick service. And they also have the pay for performance plan, which is a huge competitive advantage. They are safe, reliable, professional grade cleaning. Two Maids and a Mop. They do a great job, and I highly recommend Tabitha and her team here in Clearwater with Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We've got some properties available in the area, residential, commercial, vacant land available. Check out this property at 516 Alt 19 in Palm Harbor. If you ever wanted to build in Palm Harbor, this is a great opportunity. We've got a lot available. Prime opportunity to build your dream office, your business, or even a commercial mixed use. You could have potentially an apartment on site as well. 0 Alternate 19 in Palm Harbor. It's by Tampa Road, just north of Tampa Road there at Alternate 19 in Palm Harbor. 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is a great opportunity for a builder developer. This property has 8 lots, 5 of which are right on the water on a 90-acre ski lake in Land O'Lakes in Tampa Bay. Price tag's just over $1 million. So looking for those serious builders and developers, check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And on the show today, Diane Vance, mortgage expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Fairway Independent Mortgage, longtime friend of the show, as well as Anthony Ornella, JarredBunch Consulting, LLC, JarredBunch.com. And let's jump into our lightning round. All right, on the lightning round, what we want to do is we want to offer top tips, nuggets of advice, and parting words of wisdom. Ladies first here, Diane Vance.
So today is about planning for the future, whether it is to purchase real estate or to start investing. You should do both, basically. Start investing, contact Anthony to actually, get a plan. Contact me to have a plan, whether it's credit, whether it's how much do you need for a down payment. Today we're talking about VA loans that you need 0 down, but other loans you can still purchase with as little as 3% down. So just give me a call, 727-647-8199.
Excellent. And also DianeVance.com, DianeVance.com. Anthony Ornella, JarredBunch Consulting.
We talked about getting organized, but the second half of that is coordinating, and having a tool and having a piece of equipment that allows you to forecast the impact of every financial decision. Let's stop and think about that for a second. You can step into your future. You can hack your future and make the outcome more predictable and more controllable. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So making sure everything that you've got in your junk drawer, once it is no longer your junk drawer, once it's organized, those pieces are all coordinated and working succinctly. I think, again, Diane mentioned it perfectly with having the team, having more than just what the product or service is you're going after, and diving a little bit deeper into that. And you are listening right now to the Consumer Quarterback Show, which is a team built exactly for you. You have a mega resource here. If you were looking for a home, get with the Platinum MVP team. If you need that financing on that property, right? Give Fairway Independent Mortgage a call. Diane and her team. VA loans, come on, man. They're awesome with those. Great team. You have a wealth of resource here waiting for you to use it. You said it earlier, Brandon, QAA, questions. You got questions, we got the answers, but then you got to take the action. It takes action to start living a wealthy life.
That's right. Absolutely. I love it. I love the energy there, Anthony. And I would say also for business owners out there that are struggling, if you're still one of those business owners that are taking social media lightly and you're saying, I'm not on social media, or you're missing the boat. You're totally missing the boat. And if you look at where the trends are going and what's happening with, the world moving to smartphones and the way that the way that information is transferred from one person to the next, especially with the younger generation, you're missing the boat. If you're not in social media, if you're a business owner and you're not putting out quality content, and that's the key, is putting out quality content that people can use of different types of mediums. Maybe it's pictures, maybe some video, maybe some blogs, maybe some writing, audio, the written word. You're mixing it up when it comes to that. But you've got to invest time into those things. And I believe if you look at what our show model allows for you to do, we're doing that on a large scale. We're putting out mass content on a large scale from a variety of different types of industries and folks that we're bringing on the show. And find out what resonates with you. The truth will set you free. So if you really analyze yourself and what you're strong at, what your strong suits are, maybe some of your team members, and you utilize everyone's strengths versus trying to improve your weaknesses, focus on your strengths, make those stronger, and that's going to give you the competitive advantage. And just remember that discipline equals freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you're going to have in your life. And discipline equals freedom. And if you're committed to success, you're going to do what it takes to make it happen. So be committed to success and follow those simple rules of creating content, putting out quality content, and continuing to be a force for good in the community through those types of channels, offering advice and ways that people can live a better life through those types of videos is going to help you succeed. All right, let's go back to Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Support the local economy, support local lender here. Diane Vance.
Well, I would like to just remind any wounded veteran out there that they may need some additional help at this time. So please contact Brandon's show. We may be, we have some resources to be able to help. So if you are a wounded veteran and you need whatever you need, it doesn't matter what it is, just reach out and we can send it through our American Warrior Initiative that we have. We all support it. We all give money to it. We have 7,500 employees and we all give it to them every pay period. So, please reach out to the show if you are in need.
Wow, I love that one, Diane. You serve, you save. Also, if you're a wounded veteran, Diane and her team, her Fairway is a top 5 lender in the country. They've got these programs in place to help you. So it may be not you listening per se, but a friend or a loved one is a wounded veteran. Reach out to our hotline. We would love to be in contact with them and just simply offer help. 813-670-7372. Call or text 813-670-7372. Any wounded warriors out there, we're going to take care of you, and we'll put you in touch with Diane and her team, and they're going to help you with that along the way. And they're going to thank you that you did do that as well. Anthony Ornella.
To kind of follow up on that hotline, it's an off-air hotline. You can get in touch with Brandon's team, ask any question. But here is one of the big offers, and this will run through May. If you text or call, use the code word WEALTH, you will not only get a free audit, but you will also get access to that JB Wealth Builder platform that I was talking about. I will walk you through setting it up, and we'll have a great time doing it. And we've talked a lot about the veterans today. My wife does serve in the United States Air Force. She's in the reserves now. It can be tough with transition and different life, different work. It can bring financial stress along to that as well. I consider myself a pro when it comes to making sure that the military members have a easy transition into their new civilian life. So if you are a veteran out there, if you are soon to be getting out of active duty, give me a shout, hit the hotline up, and let's have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Text wealth or even mortgage. Text wealth or mortgage, or if you know we have that rent versus own that we offer, 813-670-7372. Text wealth, mortgage, or rent versus own, 813-670-7372, and we'll put you in touch with our expert team right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to thank our expert contributors today, Diane, Vance, and Anthony Ornella. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Great nuggets of advice for our listeners today. And all of you out there, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness now more than ever. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook, Platinum MVP Team on Facebook, and Brandon Rhymes PA as well on Facebook. We'd love to connect. ConsumerQB.com is our website, and we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for